I was supposed to go on a date tonight, but then it got canceled, and here's why. So I had already met this guy we met last weekend, had drinks, danced, had a very fun evening once we met that night, right? He was like, I want to take you out. So I said, okay, sounds great. He said Saturday. I said, awesome. He said 7:30 this place. I said, great. It's pouring outside, okay? And listen, one of my rules, if a man doesn't at least offer to send you a car for the date, whether you take it or not, no date, okay?
Clearly you have very high expectations, which is really interesting because they had met previously, right? So you would think that because they had some sort of rapport, she'd be a little more lenient with him not sending a car. I'm going to say this, fellas. This is what I colloquially like to refer to as a shite test, SHIT test. And believe it or not, a lot of you might be thinking that he failed the test, but he actually passed. He passed because he avoided having to go on a date with this individual here that clearly has extremely high expectations from before the date even begins.
And he had not mentioned anything about a car. And to be honest, if the weather was beautiful, sometimes I would rather take the subway to do a little walk to the station, all that.
That's clearly a lie. Somebody that has the expectation of somebody sending them a vehicle, getting that princess treatment, so to speak, is not going to be comfortable taking a train in any way, shape, or form. I guarantee you her primary method of conveyance is probably Ubers. If she doesn't have her own vehicle, then it's probably Ubers all day, and maybe an occasional train if she has to, like to go to work or something like that.
So he said, see you in a few hours. I said, sounds good. Are you going to send me a car or make me take the train in the rain? And he goes, ha ha, see you at 7:30. I said, no, thank you. And he said, okay, I'll cancel the res. And I liked it. No, absolutely not. So I ordered myself some Indian food. Oh my God. I'm so fucking excited. And we're going to...
She's not really excited. She's actually really pissed off, which is why she's making a video about it. The irony about this whole thing is that if you would have just gotten there on your own power, because you're strong and independent, right? If you would have gotten there on your own power, then what would have happened was you would have had your dinner paid for. Your dinner, your drinks, probably the ride home, unless you planned on staying with him, then whatever the case may be, your food would have been paid for. So you, interestingly enough, ended up paying more than what a regular car ride would have been, because I guarantee you, if you got Indian food, it looks like you have some lamb, some naan there. You're going to pull probably some rice out of there. And I've ordered Indian food online before, and I can guarantee you it's expensive. She probably spent a good $30, $40 with tip on that alone, when she would have gotten a free dinner if she would have just, gotten there like an adult on her own.
We read our book some. We're going to watch a movie. And chill, because we don't do that. I was supposed to go on a...
Yeah, so if you see here at the top, she actually makes a comment on her own video saying, and before the men come for me in my comments, being sent a car is my bare minimum, and plenty of men do it without being asked because it's their standard too. I don't really think it's a guy's standard to do that just off jump. I think it depends on the situation. And I'm going to say this, fellas, okay? Don't ever take this abuse. This should not be an expectation on a first date. Now, if you want to send a car out of the kindness of your own heart and it's raining, then go for it. I'm not going to stop you, nor would I say you shouldn't send a car. But to have the entitlement, to have the expectation that that is the behavior that should be taken before the date even commences, this is someone that's going to give you a lot of trouble later on. And they are also going to let you know that every single thing you do, you will be judged on. Because if you're willing to cancel a date where you are spending more money to make some artificial point that's not even real, then that date is not worth going on. And hey, look, I'll say this. I don't know who she is. I don't know if she's particularly a good person or not, but this was a really bad take in my opinion, because you're trying to normalize getting money out of men before you've even met this person. But in this case, you did meet him before. It's simply just a matter of you wanting more out of him before anything even begins. I want this to be a lesson and a cautionary tale to any man that's watching this video, okay? If you are going out on a date, and remember, I always look at this from the perspective of the average man. This is not for the 20% or the 1% that can frivolously spend money like of nothing. I'm talking about a 9-to-5 blue-collar worker or even a white-collar worker that grinds at their job to earn every single penny that they get just so that they can spend it on someone that's not even going to be grateful and willing to discard you for something as simple as not sending a car is ridiculous. Okay? This is a red flag. This is someone that should be avoided at all costs for your own sanity, for your own well-being, because at the end of the day, this is behavior that a lot of these people are attempting to normalize. It's like that lady whom I made the video about, charging a guy $500 for for spending time with you. You know, it's ridiculous. And I'll tell you this much, I don't really think real women think like this either. This is what you call an anomaly, someone that is an exception to the normal rule. Most women in polite society do not behave this way. They do not have this sense of entitlement where they are expecting you to do every single thing for them. You know, I get it. Look, in the comments, some of you might say, well, you know, women take a really long time to get ready. They have to put on nails, they have to do hair, they have to do their makeup, and that all costs a lot of money. Yes, I've heard that before. But it's also nonsense, okay? Because these are things that they're going to do regularly to begin with. And utilizing an ounce or two of your product to get yourself ready, it's not worth it, honestly. Yeah, men have to get ready too. They, you know, sure, you might get a haircut, or you might do something that's pretty much it. Men just get a haircut and do their laundry and just keep it pushing because we're simple, right? Fellas, we can do better. And I'm glad that he kind of stood up for himself and was like, yeah, nah, I'm not sending you a car. And like I said, if you wanted to send her one, that would have been fine too. But don't expect it. Don't have that expectation that this is the way you should be treated simply because you are a woman. You do not levitate above the rest of us. You are a regular person, just like I am. And if you can't get to a date on your own power, well, you're going to be home alone, eating Indian food, reading a book, and then complaining about it on the internet later.